If you've ever felt stuck trying to find the next thing for you, trying courses, buying courses, joining communities, going out and doing different things, and you still feel lost, I know exactly how you feel. It's been exactly a year since my grandmother passed away, and I have been chasing every rabbit I could find to try and figure out what my next move is. And it's caused a lot of heartache, caused a lot of headache, but it's also brought a lot of clarity. And it's because I realized that movement, or the act of doing, is the thing that brings clarity. Sitting in one place and thinking what's the next move doesn't bring clarity. Movement or action brings clarity. And that's the thing that I want to talk about today in this episode. Like I said, it's been exactly a year since my grandmother passed away. She passed away last year, January 28, 2024. And the whole year I have just been trying to figure out, what does my life look like? What am I going to do with my life? What's my purpose in life? And the thing that's really difficult for me is, for the last 8 years, I woke up every single day knowing exactly what I had to do that day. And I'm not talking about like, I knew what music projects I had to do. I knew what YouTube videos I had to make. I woke up every single day for the last 8 years knowing that my only priority that day was taking care of my grandmother. I knew that I was on a mission to make the last years of her life the most comfortable she could ever live. And you know, when that person is gone, and maybe a lot of caregivers can relate to this, like, what do you do next? What's the next move? And even though I had so many things going on the side of being a caregiver, I had this YouTube channel, I had the music thing going, I had brand deals going, I had an online business going. Even though I had all of that going, when my grandmother passed away, it felt like everything was erased. It felt like now I had to restart and figure out, what am I doing with my life? So that is what this year has really been about. And over the weekend, I attended an FRC seminar, which is functional range conditioning. The seminar was solely focused on teaching people the importance of joint health, how to maintain your joint health, how to make your joints strong, how to make your joints healthy, and how you can move and exercise in a way that's actually going to benefit you in the long term. It's internal strength training and not the typical go to the gym, do 3 sets of 5 on a deadlift or a bench or a squat. And don't get me wrong, those things are great, but this system that I learned from FRC is so much more impactful, and it really clicked with me heavy, because if my grandma only had something like this in her life to practice, I'm not saying that if she would have done this, she wouldn't have had arthritis. Arthritis is not preventable, but you can prevent the negative effects that arthritis has on your body, and you can delay the negative effects. And if my grandmother had that, just makes me wonder, would she have lived the last 8 years of her life with the pain that she had? Would she have been able to get out of bed and do all the things that she wanted to do for herself? When I attended the seminar, the first day was sort of a refresher course, because the year prior, I went to the seminar, I got through day 1, and then that night is when I got the call that my grandmother passed away. And so I didn't get to go to the second night. I didn't get to go to the second day of the seminar. I went straight home and, went through that whole thing. And so, I don't know, towards the last year, the last couple months of last year, in pursuit of trying to figure out what's next for me, I felt called to do the FRC seminar again. And so I signed up, I went, and during the seminar, there was just so many light bulbs going off in my head, like, this is the thing that you've been searching for. The thing that you already started is the thing that you probably should have done sooner. And maybe it was meant to be that way. Maybe I had to go through a whole year of trying different things to then end up back at the same spot, to then really fully realize that. Because maybe if I would have done it sooner, I wouldn't have had so many realizations. But anyways, I was going through the seminar and there were so many light bulbs going off. Like, if I could only download all of this information and then teach it to people, maybe I can help people not need a caregiver later on in their life. If I teach people these things, maybe they can be independent until the end of their life and not need a caregiver. And maybe that's my impact on the world. And these are all the things that I started thinking about during the training and the exercises and stuff. So, after, again, I know I mentioned it several times already, but I've paid so much money to join different communities, to try different courses, to start different businesses, and all of them fell flat. And I think it's because none of them really tugged on my heartstrings the way that the FRC stuff did, that this movement stuff did. That's where I want to spend my time and energy, is helping other people become independent until the end. And how do you do that? By teaching them this system that I learned. So I went through the seminar, I took the test, and I was certified as a FRC mobility specialist. And I'm going to continue my education in the system. All the business ideas that I had throughout the year, I would try them, let them sit for days. I would take the time to build them, build out systems, hire people. And after some time, it just always fell flat because there wasn't anything. I didn't feel passionate about these things after some time went on. I would just realize, like, this isn't, like, sure, maybe I'm serving people. Maybe, I'm serving people because of this business that I'm building, but it wasn't serving them in a way that I felt passionate about. And so this movement stuff is the thing that I'm passionate about. It's the thing that's been a constant in my life for as long as I can remember. I've always been highly interested in the human body and how it moves, and especially for being a caregiver and seeing my grandmother's decline over the years, I've just always been fascinated by how the human body sounds weird. I've always been fascinated by how the human body deteriorates and what can we do to prevent these things. What are things that we can do to maybe not have arthritis or have the effects of arthritis take over our lives, and then for us to not need help? These are the things that I've been thinking about a lot over the past 8 years. A few other things that I tried throughout the year. I tried restarting my vlogging journey. If you look back at the past 5 or 6 videos on YouTube, I tried to document my running journey. I tried to document my marathon journey, and I learned a lot during that time. But after like 5 weeks of doing it, I just found myself not really feeling passionate about it. And I felt like I was having a hard time making the videos because I felt like I was forcing it just to have a video out. And then I realized a few things, like I wasn't really passionate about, of course I love sharing my running journey, but I hated filming while running. I don't know how Kofuzi does it. I don't know how these other people who run and video themselves do it. Like, it's like when I'm running, the only thing I want to do is think about running. I don't want to think about filming. I don't want to think about these questions that I'm trying to answer. I don't want to think about anything else but running. So, I tried that. That didn't really work out. And so that, whole journey led me here. It led me back to just like these talking head videos that I did earlier in the year last year. Like, I just missed being able to just talk to the camera and share my journey and talk about what's going on in this format, because it's easy for me to just come in here, sit down, turn the camera on and talk. This is me just trying to figure it out through the process. So recently I did a podcast with Omar El Takrori, and in the video, we talked about my early YouTube career. And something that we spoke about was I didn't have a clear plan when I first started YouTube. I just, like I was saying earlier, I just turned the camera on, recorded what I was doing throughout the day, edited the video, and then uploaded it to YouTube, and then I was on to the next. I didn't have this master plan of like, yeah, I'm going to build this system and I'm going to upload this video, and then these people are going to click on the link in the description, and that link in the description is then going to take them to a website, and the website is going to capture their email, and then I'm going to have this huge email list that I'm then going to provide value to, and then I'm going to eventually, I don't know, tell them I got a course that they could buy. I wasn't thinking about any of that. I was just thinking about, man, this is really cool to like turn on a camera, record something, and then edit it and then watch it later. And through the passion of just creating, I was able to bang out like hundreds of videos. I mean, if you go through my old YouTube channel, like just go to my YouTube channel, hit oldest, and scroll, you'll see hundreds of videos of me just recording my life. And there was no stress, there was no strategy, and I was just doing. And through the doing, I learned so much. I learned about editing. I learned about how to upload on YouTube. I learned about what videos worked, what videos didn't work. And I want to get back to that. I want to get back to not overthinking the process and just doing without having to like build a system or like build the ultimate strategy for how I'm going to dominate YouTube, which is the thing that I've been doing more intensely in the last couple months. In December and January, I spent a lot of time figuring out, okay, I let go of the running vlogging stuff. And then I was like, what's next? How am I going to systematize this YouTube thing and like kill it on YouTube in 2025? And then I just started building out systems. I made a bunch of free tools that I was going to offer to you guys so that I could bring some value to my audience. And then I could also like build a huge email list of people that I could cater to, and then not be reliant on a specific platform like YouTube or TikTok or Instagram. And then I could have this mailing list. And then, I just thought of so many, like I just was building out different systems, and I spent 2 months doing that and ended up not uploading a video and just like building systems that ended up not even manifesting into anything. The double-edged sword of the way that I think about things is, one, on the positive side, if I get really excited about a new business venture or a system that I want to build or an idea that I want to follow, I will put my all into that. And then I'll spend the next few days building it out, testing it out, trying to hire people to help me out to do it. And so I move really, really quickly. And I get super excited. I tell everybody about the idea, specifically my cousin Mers, because he's my business partner and my project manager and just basically my right-hand man. I tell him all these ideas and I'm like, yo, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And it's going to be so great because then all this is going to happen. And then like 3 days later, I text him like, maybe that's not the idea. Maybe that's not the thing that we should do. So that's the other side of the double-edged sword, is that like, one, I'm very excited and eager to build out whatever it is that I have the idea to build out. And then a few days later, I'm like, that wasn't it. And this constant process of getting excited to build it out and then realizing that's not what I want to do has cost me so much money, so much time, so much effort. And again, going back to the realization I was just having earlier, maybe if I change my perspective on thinking that is a double-edged sword, maybe that's my strength, by having an idea, building it out really quickly, then realizing 3 days later that's not it. So then I could move on to the next thing because I could take the lessons that I learned from those 3 days and apply it to the next thing. Maybe it's not a double-edged sword. Maybe it's actually a blessing. I guess the biggest lesson from last year, and it's tough to like take all the lessons that I've learned and put it into just one big lesson, but something that really stuck out to me when I was writing out the outline for this video is that clarity doesn't come from overthinking. Clarity comes from action. And as you guys saw me having that revelation earlier, I'll chase a rabbit, find out that that rabbit isn't worth it, and then I'll move on to the next. That is the action. Clarity doesn't come from just sitting and hoping that it's going to click with you. Clarity comes from doing the thing and then learning from the thing and then moving on if it doesn't work out. And technically, if it doesn't work out, it's not that it didn't work out, it's that it wasn't right for you, but there's a lesson in that. So I think that is one of the biggest lessons from last year is you just got to do the thing to learn the thing that you need to learn so that you could take that lesson and then you could apply it to the next thing. Last point, I only want to do things from here on out that are sustainable. The last marathon I ran was the Honolulu Marathon, and I was really aiming to finish it in 3 hours and 30 minutes. And then now that I'm training for this Eugene Marathon coming up in April, originally I had the goal of finishing in 3:15. And then I started to think, is what I'm doing even sustainable? Because I don't think trying to continue to chase PRs is sustainable, because there's eventually going to be a point where I can't get any faster. Like if I'm running a 250 marathon, is it wise to then run a 240 marathon and then a 230 and then a 220 and then a 210 and then a 2 hour marathon and then a one? Like, is that sustainable for me? Or is it more sustainable to run these marathons and make my goal throughout these 4-month training blocks to just stay healthy and not injured? That to me feels sustainable. So I've shifted my focus in this marathon training specifically, and then I'll tell you how I'm applying it to the other parts of my life. I'm taking this stay healthy and not injured approach to the marathon. Like I want to run for as long as I can run, for as long as my body will allow me to run. I want to do it because I enjoy it. I get there's so many benefits from running for me, mentally, I guess physically, heart-wise. There's so many benefits, and I want to be able to do that for the rest of my life. And how can I do that? By staying injury-free and healthy. So instead of just chasing a number, instead of chasing sub 3 hours, why don't I just try and be healthy? Why don't I try and do these exercises that I learned in FRC, apply this FRS system to my life and to my training so that I could have resilient joints that will sustain me through the marathon training, through the marathon, and for the rest of my life. That to me sounds sustainable. Like chasing a sub 3 hour marathon doesn't, like, if it's just a one-time thing, why am I even like, sure, it sounds cool to be able to do it. I'm not trying to knock anybody that's going for a sub 3 or that's going for a particular time. I'm just saying for me in my life, I only want to do things that are sustainable. And in terms of marathon training, what feels sustainable is not chasing a time and just trying to stay injury free. So how am I applying that to other parts of my life? You guys saw me or heard me talk about it earlier with this podcast. If I feel like I can sit here every single week and pump out a podcast because all I have to do is sit here, turn on the camera, maybe have a few notes, and I could do that for the long haul, that's what I'm going to do. I guess that's the filter that I'm using when I'm thinking about if this business idea or this rabbit that I'm going to chase, is it worth it? If I can see myself sustaining this for the long term, then yes, that is the answer to the question of if I should do it or not is yes. Is it sustainable? Yes, I'm going to do it. So in regards to this FRC thing, is it sustainable? For me, building a business around FRC and teaching people how to be resilient and teaching people how to train their joints in a way that gives them the prerequisites to then do the sport or do the thing that they want to go do, that to me feels sustainable. I feel like that is what I get off on. Like I find so much joy from knowing that if I teach this person something, or if I coach them through said exercises through their plan, and they then on the other side of that 20 years later are healthy, they got strong joints, they could move in the way that they're supposed to and do the things that they want to do, like pick up their grandchildren or go to the gym and do a shoulder press properly, or whatever their goal is. If I could be the person that helps them get to that goal, I could do that for life. If I could help somebody not need a caregiver later in their life, that is my mission. That to me feels sustainable because it just brings it back to my grandmother. If I could help people not be like my grandmother in physically, obviously there were many traits of my grandmother that I wish people would learn from. Like, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about physically. If I could help people not be bedbound and need a caregiver 24/7, then I have accomplished my goal. That to me feels sustainable. And also, not chasing money. Chasing money is not sustainable. I remember the first time I had this realization was when I had my first $10,000 month. I remember before I hit $10,000 a month, this was like in the thick of caregiving. I was making music online. I had an online business surrounded around selling tools to producers. I remember the first time I made $10,000, I looked at my bank account and I was like, yeah, money doesn't make me happy. I thought for some reason, like I thought when I made $10,000 in a month, I thought there was going to be balloons and confetti. And I thought I would wake up and see my bank account and be like, yeah, I made it. But instead I looked at my bank account and I was like, wow, I want more. And that was the moment that I realized, like, there's no amount of money that I could ever make that is going to feel sustainable. I'm always going to want more. And I remember having this conversation with my mom, like money does not, it absolutely does not bring joy whatsoever, because you're always going to want more. 10,000 a month is soon going to feel like not enough. 20,000 a month is soon going to feel like it's not enough. 50,000, 100,000, it's never going to feel like enough. And I'm thankful that I had that realization early in life, because if I spent, all of last year just chasing money, then I think it would have led me down a really dark path. And I think what's more sustainable is serving others. That to me is sustainable, because that's what we're called to do. Jesus came here to serve. And that's what he calls us to do. He calls us to serve others. So to me, it's abundantly clear that is where I need to put my focus. I don't need to put my focus on trying to make money. I need to put my focus on serving other people, helping others, again, with this FRS, functional range systems, like teaching people the systems and being their coach. Again, I don't even know, like, I'm so early in the process. I don't know like how I'm going to build a business around that, but I just know that I'm leading with service. I want to help people live a long and healthy life. And I know that the system that I'm learning is the way that I'm going to do it. So yeah, I guess some key takeaways: serve first and the money will follow. Let go of the need to control outcomes. You don't have to be an expert. You just have to document your journey. And through that, people can learn so much. Sustainability over the short term. And growth comes from action, not overthinking. Stop theorizing. And this is me talking to myself. Stop theorizing and just start. Just press upload. Just go do that thing, because the clarity is going to come from doing the thing. And it's not going to come from like sitting back and journaling about what you think it's going to be like. And this is not a shot at anybody, because this is more so like something that I needed to realize for myself. Like, just sitting back and not doing the thing and just like writing about it or journaling about it or theorizing about it is not the way that you're going to get to where you're trying to get to. It's actually going out and doing the thing and figuring it out through the process. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions or if you have any suggestions for how I can continue to move forward, or if you have some like words of encouragement, I would appreciate it in the comments. Send me an email, send me a DM, whatever you got to do. I would love to continue the conversation outside of this YouTube video. Right here, I'm going to link a video that I just recently released. So if you want to continue watching videos by me, you can watch that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.